With the huge success of Wukong, it's only right that we talk about the top 10 hardest bosses. Many of these bosses must have had you shouting in frustration, but if you haven't played the game yet, please brace yourself for huge spoilers. My name is Jake and this is JJ Guides. At the number 10 spot, we're going to be starting off with the Yellow Wind Sage, the final boss of Chapter 2. The oversized rat uses long sweeping attacks, tornadoes, and even summons a huge beetle to crush you. The Wind Sage's out of bounds attack pattern is the most frustrating part about this boss, requiring both patience and timing to successfully counter his attacks. However, many new Wukong players may not know that there's actually a way to make this boss a whole lot easier. By completing the Chapter 2 secret quest, you are able to obtain the Wind Tamer. The Wind Tamer gives you an active effect of massive damage reduction boost and immunity to strong winds. As well as this, it will stun the Wind Sage as well, allowing you to get those important attacks in. Some advice for the Wind Sage. He will try to kick you many times as that is his signature move. Try to calculate when he is going to do that and make sure to watch out. After using the Wind Tamer, this boss should be pretty simple, but without it can be a massive pain. Now ranking at number 9 on our list is the friendly blacksmith tiger, Yin Tiger. A powerful optional boss and blacksmith who teleports and deals massive damage with quick and powerful strikes. His ability to block attacks and teleport makes him a fast and tricky opponent to overcome. Now are some tips that could help you take him out easier. Rather than immobilizing the Yin Tiger at the start of the fight, make sure to do it during his combos where he sneaks off into the leaves to attack you. This allows you to break up his combo and deal the same amount of damage as you would have if you would have mobilized him normally. Use Cloud Step for the heavy attacks, like the one on the air, and be patient with this boss. Rushing in is not going to help you beat him. Using your transformation after he hits his big attack allows you to open up a gap where you'll be able to deal huge damage. The main takeaway from this boss is to be patient, as previously said. Keep your distance and wait for the right time to strike. Coming in at number 8 on our list is the Supreme Inspector, the man who has both wings and a hand for a face. Supreme Inspector is a celestial enforcer who uses both fire and thunder to devastating effect. He can ride wheels of fire like a unicycle and summon a hellscape that severely restricts player movement, forcing players to use tools like the plantain fan to survive. This boss is the very first one of Chapter 6, and can be simple enough if you get used to his combos. For the first quarter of his health, his combos are pretty simple and consistent. However, once he reaches half health, he will turn the arena into a ring of fire, using his flame wheels and mid-air combos to try and take you out. Patience is the key with this boss, and knowing when to push is also very important. At number 7 on our list is the incredibly designed and very scary Yaksha King, a glass cannon of a boss who can be staggered if hit fast enough. But the Yaksha King's devastating strength and his extending blades can quickly obliterate your health if you're not careful. With this being the last boss of Chapter 5, he is the second stage of Red Boy. As soon as you enter the boss fight, he will pull out his blades. Make sure to use Immobilize and get free damage with the spirit or combos. After the first half of his health bar, he can do a special heavy attack and he does brand new combos. His blades will get bigger, and to dodge this attack, just use Cloud Step and get very far away. After this, make sure to use Transformation and get some more damage in. Just like many other bosses in this game, the key to this one is knowing when to push and when to get back. Coming in at number 6 is the incredibly freaky 100-eye Daoist Master. Now, another interesting boss, as like the Wind Sage, you could get a special item that would severely help you with this boss. Without the Weaver's Needle, which is the item I'm talking about, this centipede-like creature will create its own dimension, drastically reducing your stamina and leaving you vulnerable to his lightning and sword attacks. However, even with the needle, it does still remain a tough fight. Now, at the start of this battle, you will be getting a little bit of help from the Violet Spider's daughters. They're going to go into battle and fight alongside you. However, you should definitely make the most of this moment to get some additional free damage in where he's focusing on the other enemies. The spiders will only help you in your very first encounter with him. However, if you do fail first time, don't worry, because his health bar will be reduced by 15% in all other attempts. Like many bosses in this game, the best advice I could give to defeat him is to literally learn his attack attack patterns, especially his front swinging sword ones. A good opportunity to get some great damage in on him is after his lightning strike ability, where he's going to be exposed at the sides. Make sure to make the most of this and you should be okay with this boss. Coming in at number 5, we have one of the most interesting secret boss fights in the game, the Scorpionlord. Just like the Yin Tiger, this is an optional boss. However, I'm assuming you're clicking on this video because you want to defeat him. You can encounter this Yaksha King boss in chapter 4, where he is attempting to take over Purple Cloud Mountain. He is a boss who specializes in poison based attacks. His multiple tail strikes, poison damage and aggressive spinning making a lethal threat that demands perfect timing and strategy. Like many bosses in Wukong, the more damage you deal to him, the harder his attacks get to manage. Late in the fight, make sure not to be tricked by when he extends his attacks, leaving you with a potential opening in your mind. When you spot this boss jumping straight into the air, make sure you're ready for his huge long range tail attack that's going to be a massive damage if you get hit by it. A pretty straightforward strategy for this boss is just to immobilize, combo him, and just learn his attack patterns. Just be careful for his poison. Yellow Loon is the hardest and the last boss of the Loon side quest. He is very fast and deals a lot of damage. He excels with blinding speed and overwhelming lightning based attacks. His tight battleground and heavy hitting abilities make it very difficult for survival. For the first part of this fight, let him do his combos. He will stand for seconds and there is a moment where you can attack. As he enters his second phase, he does some attacks that aren't very easy to dodge. A little tactic I've been recommended is to count from 1 to 3 for the first ones, and for the last ones, they're way faster. To avoid them completely, you can use Cloud Step with max duration, and in this boss fight, make sure you keep your mana for Immobilize, as there's going to be very little opportunities to get some good hits on him. As well as keeping mana for Immobilize, make sure you keep some for Cloud Step. Many times during this fight, you may find yourself not being able to dodge and heal when you're on low health. Having Cloud Step at your arsenal ready to do this is very, very handy. Coming in at number 3 on the list is the incredibly unsettling Duskveil. Duskveil is the last boss of the secret area of chapter 4 and is a 2-phase boss. With him being a 2-phase boss, it is very important that you do not use all of your heals and mana in the first phase, as he's only going to get more aggressive. In the first phase, make sure to stay close to him and play very aggressively. He's going to always do the same combos and should be pretty straightforward once you get used to them. As soon as you enter this boss fight, he's going to start throwing things at you, so make sure you run away. And after he does this, he's going to roll at you. Do not use Immobilize at this time, as there is no point. He's already going to be stunned partially, so you're going to get some free damage in anyway. The second phase is where things get a lot harder. He's going to start with a blade attack. However, you need to watch out for his combos because they seem the same as the first phase, but they are a lot different. His second phase combos are always +1, meaning that he's going to add an attack to the combos of the first phase. When he throws things at you, it's always going to be +1, so he's going to throw them 2 times. There are 4 blade combo attacks. 2 of them will end up smashing his blade into the ground. 1 will end up being still for seconds. That is free damage that you need to take advantage of. The best thing I can say about this boss is just knowing when to get your hits in. He's going to be super aggressive, so knowing when you can immobilize him and when he's going to be stunned for a little bit will help you a lot. So number 2 on our list is the Stone Monkey and or the Great Sage's Broken Shell. This 4-phase battle sees Wukong face off against the remnants of the Great Sage with large-scale damage, clones, and humiliating tactics like freezing the player just to steal their health potion. The Great Sage has 2 full phases. The first phase, you're going to want to charge up 4 focus points to hit him from a distance. The little cheese of this fight is to just keep rinse and repeating this method until he's defeated. In the second phase, the Great Sage steals your relics and you cannot charge up to 4 focus points. And this is where the boss fight gets hard. As soon as he enters the second phase, he's going to get up in the air and do a 4 focus pointed charge attack at you. Run for the first 2 swings, and when he gets to the third is when you dodge. Some important tips to this fight: do not heal 2 times in a row because he's just going to immobilize you. He's going to take your gold and heal himself. If you do have to heal, do it when you are in danger. Something that could be really helpful during this fight is the Purple Veined Peach Pit. This heals you more when at critical health. And to the Pillar Stance users, you're going to be a bit sad because when you do use this stance against him, he's going to catch the staff and just throw it straight on the ground. So this is ineffective. And coming up at number 1 on this list, who else would it be other than Erlang the Sacred Divinity, the ultimate secret boss. Erlang has a counter for nearly every single move you have in your arsenal. He has a defense bar and attacks that can wipe you out in an instant. His ability to unleash devastating giant axes, supercharged spear swings and relentless projectiles make him an extreme challenge. What you'll notice when fighting him is the other meter over his HP bar. As long as this is active, he's not going to be taking much damage whatsoever, so you're going to need to break that. He's going to be restoring his shield 3 times for the 3 phases that he has, so it can be a bit tedious. An important note is that after he has entered his 2nd phase, from now on you will not be able to use Immobilize on him, and he's going to reverse it on you and actually freeze you instead. Another thing to be cautious of is his thunder attacks. When you get hit by these attacks, he's going to give you shock damage, obviously leading to you taking extra damage. To help prevent this, make sure you equip some shock while in powder to help solve this issue. What makes this boss super tough is that he's going to get tougher the more damage you deal to him, using various new combos and replenishing his stance bar. The skill gap between Erlang and the rest of the bosses is absolutely massive, so if you are failing at this a lot, make sure not to be too disheartened. And that wraps things up for our top 10 Wukong boss video. Is there anything you think I missed out? Did I misplace anyone in the list? Or there's some strategies that you think would be better? Make sure to leave a comment below and to like and subscribe to see more content like this, where we're going to be delivering weekly videos about all sorts of games that you're not going to want to miss.